Yes, am I audible to all? Anisa, Oishi, Safrina, Vansh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Vansh, I think you received 2 links of the classes which you missed. Were you able to see them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in the last class, we were discussing Coulomb's law. Now, see, we'll move on to the numericals part because in this chapter, more importantly, you have the numericals. Okay, so all these things we discussed, we have Coulomb's law, F is equal to K, Q1, Q2 by R square, where value of K is 9 into 10 to the power 9. That is important. We didn't practice any question from this. So in today's class, mostly we have questions to practice. Okay, superposition principle and all. These things are there which many students find difficult because one thing I'll tell you, especially those students will find difficult whose basics are not clear. Vectors are not clear. If your vectors aren't clear properly, you will face trouble with superposition principle. So talking about the force, you have the first charge given as plus 2 microcoulomb. Second charge which is present here is minus 3 millicoulomb. And separation between both the charges is given as 3 millimeter. Now, Coulomb's law will basically tell us the force, magnitude of force between them. Okay, this will calculate and tell you the magnitude of the force between them. So, formula we discussed was F is equal to K Q1 Q2 divided by R square. This was the formula. Now, can someone tell me what are the charges that have to be put in here? Like, just tell me what should I write. Anisa, you tell me the value of this constant K. Yes, Anisa? What is the value of this constant? This constant must be having certain value. You there, Anisa? Present or not? Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay. Safrina, is that the value that we will put? Exactly. Okay. Vansh, can you tell me the value of the K? Yes, Vansh. Value of the dielectric constant? You said you've already watched the video, so by now you must be remembering. Yes, Vansh, you there? I think I just told
Yes,
before
ma'am.
starting the. And what's the value? By just saying yes, ma'am, it won't help. Tell me the value. I just said it before starting the class. Look into the notes somewhere you must have written. You can check the notes and then tell me the value. What is the value of this K? 9 into 10 to the power 9. And this value has to be remembered. If you don't remember the value of the K, you will not score anything in physics because problem is that this K will not be just here. If it was just a question of this, then it would have been fine. This dielectric constant comes in every chapter of your first book. Okay, this comes in almost every chapter of your first book. So 9 into 10 to the power 9 now shouldn't be forgotten by anyone. Anisa, Vansh, especially. Or anybody, not just them. This value you have to remember, this value won't be given. Okay, 9 into 10 to the power 9. Safrina, you were telling me the charges. Now properly tell me, Safrina, what charges should I write? Formula based question. Now tell me the exact value. Yes.
2, okay. 2 into 10 raised to minus 6
Yes.
and 3 into 10 raised to minus 3.
Yes, very good. Now you're right, Safrina. You got it. What was the issue with the earlier answer? Now it's correct. See, class. One thing, first of all, minus we'll not consider. So that part, Safrina, was correct. Whether it's plus 2, minus 3, or anything given, you won't consider this negative sign because we discussed in the last class that we put the magnitude of the charges. So Coulomb's law basically tells you the product of magnitude of both the charges. Now, Oishi, can you just tell me the R value? What should I write in the denominator?
3 into 10 to the power minus 3 whole raised to 2.
Whole. Correct. Perfect. See, when you write in the value, F is equal to 9 into 10 to the power 9 into 2 into 10 to the power minus 6 into 3 into 10 to the power minus 3 divided by 9 into 10 to the power minus 6. This 9 will be cancelled. This 10 to the power minus 6 will be cancelled. This makes it 6 into 10 to the power. This will be 6 Newton. That's it. Okay. Now, right now, you don't even have to write about their directions and anything. That's it. Because this Coulomb's law just tells you the magnitude. It doesn't give you the direction. So you are also expected to write the magnitude. So one thing should be remembered. You do not take the signs of the charge. You just take the magnitude, and then you convert these units into the SI units. Okay. A very easy question was it, but one more question we'll discuss before moving on to the next concept. Okay. Write it and just text me a done once all of you write, all of you have written, then I'll move ahead. Okay. Okay. One more question. Let's see. This says two charges Q1 and Q2, they are placed at a separation R and repel each other with a force F. That means Q1 is there and this is Q2 and they both are separated by R and it says it repels it by a force of F. It means I can say F is equal to K Q1 Q2 divided by R square over here. Now it says calculate the force if magnitude of both the charges is doubled and separation is half. Means magnitude of both the charges is doubled means this was Q1, this becomes 2Q1. This was Q2, this becomes 2Q2 like this. Okay. So if it is doubled, so let's see, 2q1 separated to 2q2. And what about the radius? Is it the same? No. It says separation is half. Means your r was there, so it will be half r by 2. So the separation is r by 2. Now let's apply the Coulomb's law for this new force. What's the formula? 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. That is K. First charge Q1. What is our Q1? This time it is 2q1. What is Q2? Second charge. That is 2q2. Okay, K 2q1 into 2q2 divided by r square. So this will be r by 2 whole square. Right? I've just applied the law. 2q1, 2q2 by r square. It's like K q1, q2 by r square. Now let's just simplify this a little bit. F prime, this means the new force will be equal to K is there. Look, 2 into 2 is 4. Q1, Q2 divided by R square by 4. This 4 goes up, that makes it K into 16. In fact, I'll write it like this. 16 K Q1, Q2 by R square. Look, class. K Q1, Q2 by R square is nothing but the force F that was already given to us. So what's the ratio between them? F prime is 16 times the earlier force, means the new force is 16 times the original force. Okay, so that's how we'll solve it. So this is a question which came in one of your board exams, and I think it was 2019's paper or 2023's paper. In one of the papers, this question has exactly come like this with the same values. In one of the questions earlier, 2015's question, one of the method of charging conduction was used, but this question came. Write it, then we'll see some more details about the dielectric constant. Okay, so let's move further. Now, a little about the dielectric constant or the relative permittivity, which we saw in the last class. So that's why I'll just make it a little quick. We discussed F is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square. And when we have the force as air, so we'll put the value of epsilon naught. Okay. So 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. So this is what? This is the force in the air. Now, if I change the medium, let's say if I'm changing the medium, then I cannot put epsilon naught. Here I'll have to put an epsilon. Okay, epsilon means FC. Epsilon naught is for air, while epsilon is for a particular medium. Okay, so in that case, force will be equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon. Now, epsilon of a medium by the epsilon naught, this is actually equal to the dielectric constant, that is K. So epsilon can be written as K times epsilon naught. So epsilon by epsilon naught gives the relative permittivity of the medium. And so we get the relation force in the medium is equal to force in air by K. So this whole concept I already discussed in the last class as well. But as I told you in the last class that we'll have a separate topic for dielectric constant and all, that's why we have discussed. Now, this is the question from your NCERT. And this question has come in the board exam as well. Means not exactly the same question. This part came, which we already discussed before, and this still here it came. And in fact, this one part, the gravitation is a value, that gravitation's value came in the entrance exams also. So what does this question say? Two insulated charged copper spheres A and B have their centers separated by a distance of 50 meters. Centers separated. Yesterday, I told you that you always have to take the centers of the sphere whenever you have the spheres present for the Coulomb's law to be applicable. Okay. So it means it says whatever are the charges, let's say Q is there, this Q is there over here, and it says by a distance of 50 centimeter. It says this is equal to 50 centimeter, which we can say 0.5 meter. Okay. What is the mutual force of electrostatic repulsion if the charge on each is 6.5 into 10 to the power minus 17? What do you have to get? You just have to calculate the mutual force of electrostatic repulsion. Mutual force of electrostatic repulsion means both the charges have the same force, same charge. So it will repel it. So this charge's value Q is given as 6.5 into 10 to the power minus 7 coulomb. Charge is given, the separation is given. Now what do we have to do? It says what is the mutual force of attraction? Easy for us to calculate the force. We just did a similar question. F is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square we'll use. Charges are identical, so that makes it F is equal to Q square by KQ square by R square. Okay, that is the force. Now, this value you all can put. I'm just writing it here. F is equal to K is 9 into 10 to the power 9. Charge given is how much? 6.5 into 10 to the power minus 7. 6.5 into 10 to the power minus 7 whole square minus 7 whole square. So KQ square divided by R square, that is 0.5 whole square. This much of Newton will give you the electrostatic force. Now the question doesn't stop here. That's why I just took this question, because here there's a concept of gravitational attraction. It says if the mass of both the spheres are given as 0.5 kg, you tell us the gravitational attraction. It means, see, this is all related to your class 11, this gravitational concept you did in class 11th, if you remember. So force, gravitational force is equal to capital G M1 M2 divided by R square. So mass is already given, M1 is equal to M2, that is given as 0.5 kg. Radius is already given. V is already a constant, which you know 6.6. 3 is also taken, but many times 6.64 also people round it off to its value. Anyways, final answer when you'll put, because calculations you can perform later, otherwise it will take a lot of time. So when you have the electrostatic and the gravitational ratio, it will be almost around 10 to the power 42. This is something which you should know because this is mentioned in the NCERT as well. And this is a question of NCERT only. Now, second says if each sphere, the charge is double, distance between them is half, what is the force? That I'm not doing. You know, if the sphere's charge is double and the distance between them is half, we've already discussed that the force becomes 16 times. So whatever value you get in the first part here, that multiplied with 16, that will give you. And the last part says that the two spheres, when they are placed in water. So see, that's what I just discussed with you, this part. F in medium is F air by K. So the value that you get from here, this first value, the third part would be the force in water is equal to force that you calculate, this F divided by K, which is given as 80. Sometimes 81 you will get, sometimes 80 you will get for water, but you don't have to remember any dielectric constants value. What do you have to remember? Few things are there that I've already told you. Okay, so these questions will you be able to manage? Oh, do one thing, just take the screenshot from here and for the question just write it. Okay.
Ma'am, can you scroll up a bit? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I hope all of you are done. Now let's move to the next concept. There's a concept of equilibrium that comes. See, directly this term equilibrium isn't mentioned in your books if you see, but questions are there and numericals come in the exam. So I'll just practice one question with you so you understand how to do. And it's a question where all the parts will be covered. And it's a really important question. So all of you please pay a little attention over here. Okay. See, concept of equilibrium means sometimes equilibrium is what? Equilibrium means a state of complete rest. Rest in the sense when the net force is zero, then we say equilibrium, which can be translational or rotation. And this is all from your laws of motion chapter class 11th. You've already studied. Then what is there in your class 12th? When we talk about the equilibrium part, see, plus E, plus 2E, minus AD, let's say three charges are present. If the question says one charge is in equilibrium, let's say minus 8 is in equilibrium, then only this 8 will be at rest, while this plus E can move, minus plus 2E can move. Okay, so you will just have to ensure that your plus minus 8E is at rest. That's it. We'll see how that we have to ensure. But what do we have to do? We just have to see that only one charge is at rest. Okay, whatever happens to the other two charges, you're not concerned with that. But if the question says system is in equilibrium, okay, this term will be given to you, the term system. So when it says system is in equilibrium, it means you have to check for the first charge as well. You have to check for your second charge as well. You have to check for your third charge as well. Means all of the charges should be stable at rest. It shouldn't be moving. System and one charge. So solving one charge is very easy. I'll directly take up a question where the system is used. Now see, please understand this question properly, and if there's any difficulty with it, stop me in between and let me know whatever doubts you have. This question says that two identical charges plus q are kept at a distance small r from each other. Because no sign is given, that's why I'm assuming that it is positive. Plus sign isn't mentioned. But whenever in the exams you do not get the plus sign and nothing is given, so it means it's already a plus sign. Okay, so q plus q is there, and here I have the next q, and they all are kept distant at a distance of r from each other. This is what is given. It says a third charge, small q, is placed on the line joining the above two charges. Means it is placed somewhere, we don't know. Let's say somewhere here it is placed. That all three are in equilibrium. All three are in equilibrium means you'll have to ensure that this is also at rest, this is also at rest, and this, the new charge that is brought in between them, is also at rest. Okay, and the question says what is the magnitude, sign, and position of the charge q. Now see, when we talk about the forces over here, first how to determine its sign. Okay, how to get it, the sign, how to get the sign of it. You will have to ensure that you have all the charges, the other two charges. So you know this is plus, this is plus. Now, for an instant, let's assume that this sign, this has to be done by hit and trial method. So let me assume that this charge is positive. So I have assumed it for a while, this is positive. Now we will see, this is positive. Is the system really in equilibrium or not? If it is, it means positive is right. Positive can be there. Now look, let's name them. Let's say this is A, this is B, this is O. Just for the naming part, just for the naming sake, so that we know what are we referring to. Otherwise, this is not given or a part of question. Now see, let me talk about charge Q plus Q. Now you all will tell me on A, I'm not using plus Q, minus Q, small q, capital Q, otherwise it will be very confusing. I'm using A, O, B. You understand I'm referring to the charges. Now all of you tell me this thing, that if plus Q is here, A is there, Due to O, will A move towards O or away from O?
Away.
Away, because both are positive, right? So this will be the force on A due to O. And what do you think will happen on A due to B? Will it move towards B or towards or away from E? B.
From
What, Oishi?
from plus Q.
You said towards.
The plus
You
Q and B will move away from O.
Yes, correct. B will also move away. Means A will move away due to B as well, because both are positive. Positive will repel each other. So this one also will be like this. FB would be like this. Okay, done. Let's come to the next force O. Let's see where will O go due to A and B. Now look, A is positive. It will push this away. A will push this plus Q away. And this B will also push this away. That is FB. Okay. Now coming to Q. Q, due to O, both are positive. It will be pushed away due to O. And this is also positive. So this will also be pushed away due to A. Now look here, class. Both the forces for plus Q, this small q, O, both the forces are in opposite direction, 180-degree parallelogram law, they will cancel each other. So this will remain in equilibrium because both the forces are acting exactly in the opposite side. This will be pulling it, this will be pulling it. Basically not pulling, both are pushing it. So this remains in equilibrium. But what about this? Forces are getting added over here. If forces are getting added over here, means this charge will definitely move towards the left. While this charge, because both the forces are acting towards the right, this will definitely move towards the right. So this won't be in equilibrium, this won't be in equilibrium. So is our system in equilibrium? Yes or no? Do you think system is in equilibrium? See, forces, no. Safrina, why? Like, what do you think? Why the system is not in equilibrium?
Because only one charge is.
Exactly, very good. See others. Anisa, Jobita, Oishi, and Vansh. Only one charge is in equilibrium. That's how we identified. This is the charge. This is the one charge only that was in equilibrium. That's why we say system is not in equilibrium. Let's change it. Let's say this is that plus Q. This is plus Q. This is O. This is A. This is B. And they are separated by a distance of R. Now here we are bringing this plus Q, this Q, but this time I'm taking it sign negative. Now let's check. Yes, Anisa, now you try at least. Just tell me one thing. I hope you all know. Positive will repel, negative will repel, and negative will attract. This is the basic thing that you should be knowing. So plus Q is there. Anisa, you tell me. Due to O, will A move towards O or away from O? Yes, try
Towards.
words. Very good, because that is negative. Yes. So this will be
Yes,
FO. And what about this charge, Anisa? Will it be pulling it or
Towards.
pushing it? Plus also will be pulling it. Towards B or away from B?
Towards A.
You want to say this is the force FB like this? This is what you're saying, Anisa? So you mean to say positive will attract positive? Is that correct?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Away. Okay. This will be just This will be just away. So this will be F naught and this will be FB. Due to B, this will be moving away. Okay, now talking about negative. See, both are positive. This positive will attract this. This positive will attract this. That is Fe. Now same thing will occur with this. Yes, Vansh, you try this. Where will B move due to A? Towards A or away from A? पॉजिटिव चार्ज Q है B पॉइंट पे, एक और चार्ज है प्लस Q. ये जो B वाला चार्ज है ये A की तरफ जाएगा या A से दूर जाएगा? वंश, your answer, Vansh, you just unmuted yourself. Away, because both are positive. Very good. This will go away. So this will be due to F. And negative will pull it towards itself. That will be FO. Now see class, if you look here, this is also opposite, this is also opposite, this is also opposite. We can say now the system is in equilibrium. So the question was sign of the charge. Can we finally now conclude after this whole discussion that the sign of the charge should be negative? The sign of this charge should be negative. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now see, coming to the second part, that is magnitude. See, if the net force is 0 at this point, if the net force, as per our discussion, we can say the net force is 0 at this point. So what can we say? I can say whatever is the force A on this Q on O is being balanced by FB. Can we say these two forces are equal? Then only this is an equilibrium. If that's the case, let's write the Coulomb's law. Let's say this is some x separation. We don't know. So let's take it as x. Leftover will be r minus x. So see, if I write the Coulomb's law over here, Oishi, can you just write the Coulomb's law between A and O? Let's apply the Coulomb's law.
Yeah, K,
Okay.
capital Q, small
Capital
q,
Q, small
by
q,
x square.
x square. Very good. Safrina, could you just elaborate on the FB?
K small q capital Q by r minus x whole square.
Yes, very good. Perfect. Now see, this is what we already have. Now we have to establish a relation between R and X. Capital Q, small q, they get cancelled. K will be cancelled from here. Correct? So we can simply say X is equal to R minus X. 2x is equal to R. So we can say X is equal to R by 2. Now you know the position as well. Means this new charge, that is minus Q, is put in the midpoint between plus Q and small q. This is nothing but this is R by 2 and this is R by 2. The two things are clear. Magnitude, not magnitude, we have just got the sign and the position. These two parts are clear to everyone.
Yes.
Others, Jobita, are you getting? Are you getting this, Jobita? Okay, so let's talk about the magnitude last part. See, for the magnitude, let's talk about the forces on capital Q. Why capital Q? Why not small q? Because see, now I want the charges magnitude. I want the charges to stay, right? If I take small q, both the sides have equal charges, so charges will be cancelled. I'll just get this. So if I take this will have both the charges. When I take the net force on capital Q, it will have the force due to small q, it will have the force due to capital Q. So at least the charges can be retained. Now see, I am writing the force on Q. The net force on Q is also equal to what? See, the net force on capital Q says FA is equal to FB. Still? Now let's talk about this. Yes, Anisa, just try this. Force FA. FA means the force between plus Q and this plus Q. How should I write? Apply the Coulomb's law. At least start the way this was answered. Try this.
K, Q,
Okay. Capital Q,
capital Q, small
capital,
q,
not small q. These are your charges, Anisa. Plus Q, plus Q. You are calculating FA. What is FA? FA is the force between A and B. So tell me the Coulomb's law for these two. K into capital Q into capital Q divided by what should I write? Try. What's the separation? See, we write the separation square. So look in the figure, Anisa. See, what do you think is the distance between both the Q's? Can you see
R,
a separation? R. So it will be R square. Yes,
R square.
correct. This will be R square. So this is one side. Okay. Jyobita, you there in the class or not? Because you haven't responded yet.
Yes, ma'am.
You there? Okay. Jyobita, just tell the force between B and O, this FB, this force, between these two. At least try. Between these two, try. These are the two charges. Their separation is also given. Yes, Jyobita, your answer. Jyobita, right now you just responded. When it comes to the question, what happens? At least answer. Maximum you will be wrong. At least you will remember it. Because it's a little difficult concept in one go. That's why I'm discussing it in so detail. Yes, Jyobita, you have to try. Otherwise, you'll have to attend more backup classes. Just try. See what comes in Coulomb's law. What is Coulomb's law, Jyobita? What's the basic formula of Coulomb's law?
Okay, Q1 plus Q2.
Not Q1 plus Q2. Q1 into Q2. Okay, so K comes, I'll write K. You said Q1, so this is my first charge, I'll write capital Q. Small q is my second charge, so I'll write small q. So K Q1 plus Q2 nahi hai. K Q1 into Q2 divided by what is there?
R square.
R square. R means separation between the charges. Now, Jyobita, look at the figure between small q and capital Q. Have we got the separation?
Yes.
And what's it?
R by 2.
R by 2. Exactly. So it will be R by 2 whole square. Okay, that's what you had to do. Perfect. Now see, here capital Q will be cancelled. K will be cancelled. We'll be left with Q by R square is equal to small q by R square. And this 4 will go up. R square gets cancelled. What do we have to find? We have to find the magnitude of the small q. Magnitude is Q by 4. So what is my complete answer? These questions have come in the board exams. They come in your regular pre-boards also. It's not a concept which is out of your syllabus. See, every concept that we'll be doing within this batch will be coming and important to your boards. Because if you have anything which is there in your entrances, we have separate classes for NEET, we have separate classes for JEE. There we call the students to tell the extra part. In your batch, students are there. Jyobita attends the class, she knows it. So don't think that anything that is being taught here is out of the syllabus or it's difficult, it cannot come. Only CBA, this batch focuses on CBSE because you all are targeting your CBSE's board exam. So this is only taught. So what can I conclude? I can conclude that plus Q and plus Q were there. A charge that is minus Q by 4 came exactly in the midpoint of them. Right? That's what our conclusion is. Now tell me, have you all understood this question properly? All of you? Yes or
Yes.
no?
Yes.
All right. Okay, please copy down this, but still, even while writing, if there's any trouble, let me know. I'll write it from here. In case of small q, see, I wanted the denominator just to have distance because I wanted to calculate position. So if I would have taken capital Q's forces here as well, both of it will have one q left, like it is here in this case. So if q will not be cancelled, then my equation will be having one charge. And charge is a variable here, so I'll not get any answer. So that's why Q for the charge, so that all the charges we are ridden of them. And here, capital Q and small q will give a variety of both the charges, so that our charge will remain. Okay, so that's why here I took capital Q's force, here I took small q's force, minus q's, and here I took capital Q's. All right. So see, the next is superposition principle that we have. Superposition principle is basically, see, when you have multiple charges present, okay, for multiple charges, multiple forces are there. Now, when we talk about multiple forces, so what we do for all the charges that are present, let's say for two charges, we already know what are forces. But what if multiple charges are existing and you now have to tell the net force? So what you do, this is the first charge. Let's say this is our main charge on which we are calculating the net force. See, till now we just did two charges are there and that force. Okay, that's what we did till now. So here, what we did, we have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 till Qnth. These many charges are existing. So separation between Q1 and Q, this is R1, Q and Q2 is R2, Q and Q3 is R3, Q and Q4 is R4. Like this, you have various. So when we calculate the force F1, F1 will be equal to K capital Q1, Q2, not Q2, this capital Q divided by R1 square. Similarly, for second force, I'll calculate that is K Q2 into Q divided by R2 square. Similarly, for the third force, I'll calculate fourth force and whatever other charges. What's your first step? Use Coulomb's law individually for all the charges. Once you have F1, F2, F3, now these are like your vectors. You just add them vectorically. Vectors you've already studied. F net will be F1, F2, F3, F4, the sum of all of them. So, superposition principle basically says that in a system of n charges, the total electric force on any one of the charge is the vector sum due to all remaining charges. Like I'll show you an example. See here, this is a question from NCRT's exemplar, and I think the solved question also. It says find the net force on the charge P at the vertex. This is your charge P. Let's say this is A, this is B, this is P point. This is already given as P point. A, B, P, this triangle is there. Now we have to find out the net force here. What is the first thing that you do whenever you have parallelogram law, whenever you have vectors? You write the direction. That's what we studied. And some of you had your bridge courses, that time also we did, that the vectors will have the direction first. Means in the sense you complete the first step as the geometrical construction. Now look, P, what will be the direction on P due to B? Means force on P due to this charge. So both are positive. So this charge will exert a repulsive force on this, that is FB. Similarly, this is also positive, so this will also repel it. This will be like this. Like this will throw this away. It will try to push both the forces. Both the charges will try to push it in their respective directions. Now see, what will be Fa if I write it individually? Fa means force between these two. I will say K Q into Q divided by A square, which is equal to K Q square divided by A square. Now I'll calculate the force on B, means due to these two charges. That is K, again both the magnitudes and everything are the same, so we are getting the same value, KQ square by A square. I have just applied Coulomb's law over here, okay? See, K Q1 Q2 by R square, K Q cube by A square. Similarly, same thing here, Q separated by A. I hope by now at least you are able to apply Coulomb's law. And if there's any difficulty, I'll share an assignment today. At least attempt that and let me know if there's a trouble with it. You didn't submit the assignment of any of the backup classes, so I didn't discuss it as well. We need to discuss the assignments. Anyways, that can be done. Now see, we can directly find out the resultant now. Okay, this is one vector, this is second vector. What do we do? What do we do in such a case? We complete the parallelogram first. So we complete the parallelogram. Where is our resultant lying? So we know this is our resultant. This is our final resultant. Step one is your geometrical construction. Now coming to the magnitude. Resultant is equal to, Oishi, we just did it recently. Could you just tell me the formula? Yes.
FA square plus FB square plus 2FA FB cos theta.
Very good. See, FA square plus FB square plus 2FA FB cos theta. Okay. Especially those who didn't have the backup, not backup, bridge course yet. Some of you, it is still remaining. Like Anisa, we couldn't complete the vectors part. So for that, right now, just look at the formula. That's why it's written. Now
Yes,
see,
ma'am.
theta is required. Can any one of you tell me what should be the theta's value? Theta means angle between FA and FB. What should be this? What do you think it is? 60 degree. Perfect. See, this is an equilateral triangle class. This will be 60 degree. Vertically opposite angles, this will also be 60 degree. Okay. So, and see, when magnitudes are the same, can we just write both of them as F for a while, just to ease our calculation? Look, I can say resultant is equal to F square. For FB also, I'll write F square because magnitude is the same. 2F into cos 60 degree, right? That is 1 by 2 under root of this. 2 gets cancelled. So this is equal to square plus F square plus F square. That is resultant is equal to under root of 3F square. That is F root 3. What is our F? K Q square by A square into root 3 Newton. What is this? This is our magnitude. Got it? See, the physics part of class 12th was still here. Rest, I'm just using 11th class's parallelogram law. Two vectors are there. The angle between them is 60 degree. It's a simple question of class 11th. It's just that the forces are electrostatic forces. That's the only difference, class. Okay, so you just brush up the vectors, those who are forgetting. Last step, direction. We take beta with any of the vector. Let's say this is beta. So the nearest one becomes A, the farthest one becomes B. Okay, anyways, here A and B have no confusion because your values are exactly the same for the forces. Formula of tan beta is B sine theta divided by A plus B cos theta. B is also F, this is F. F sine 60 degree divided by F plus F cos 60 degree. See, F can be taken common from here. So we will be left with sine 60 degree divided by 1 plus cos 60 degree. This would be sine 60 degree divided by 1 plus cos 60 degree. Forces will be cancelled. Sin 60 is root 3 by 2. This is 1 plus cos 60 is half. That is 3 by 2. So root 3 by 2 divided by this becomes 3 by 2, which is root 3 divided by 3. If you want, you can further rationalize it by multiplying and dividing it by 3. So this 3, that makes it 1 by root 3. Now tan beta, when is tan 1 by root 3? We know this value, all of us. Beta should be equal to which angle?
30.
30 degree, yes, correct. This will be equal to 30 degree. So see, beta is 30 degree means this force is, and anyway, see, the angle was 60 degree, both the forces were equal. So this resultant had to be the bisector, angle bisector. Okay. Anyways, this was from your vectors, and that's how we write the magnitude. This is the magnitude. And this is the angle, and this is the figure for it. Am I clear with superposition principle, class? All right.
Yes.
Okay. See, for this part, just take the screenshot. Theory part na khud likh lena. जो भी screenshot लो और याद से लिख लेना in your registers, okay? And just take the screenshot for this one. Just note down this one.